Welcome to the first episode of Conversations with Varshit. Today I'm joined by Mihir, a friend, batchmate, and a little bit of a world explorer. After 4 years at JPMorgan and an internship at Hilti in Paris, he's gathered some great stories and lessons for anyone dreaming of studying or working in Europe. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get started. Hi, Mihir. Thanks a lot for agreeing to come on the first episode of my podcast. Uh, Starting off right away, I know that you've traveled a lot in Europe. We have obviously studied in Paris. I've studied in Germany as well. So I wanted to know your experience. That was there a moment either during a trip or in your classroom or even at your internship at Hilti that made you think that yeah, this particular experience is a bit unique and it's changing you?
So, during my tenure or during my entire duration, there were multiple moments which I thought that this experience is changing me. So to give you a gist, so there was a realization of cultural humility, learning to listen before leading in a diverse classroom, exposure to different ways of solving problems, which are more discussion driven and less hierarchical in nature. And
Mm-hmm.
also during my internship, directly seeing the decisions we have taken influence our corporate strategy,
Mm-hmm.
along with some moments, specifically solo travel, where I was navigating uncertainty and at the same time building confidence and adaptability. So over the entire duration of 1 year, there were multiple such moments.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think that is what the whole journey for me in Europe.
Okay. So, coming to the internship part, I know that you converted American Express as well, and then you ended up choosing Hilti for your internship. So, for a student, landing an internship in a foreign country isn't always straightforward, right? There are obviously language barriers in the hiring process. There's a cultural difference between you and the recruiter as well. So, as far as your experience goes, what were the various challenges that you faced while securing your internship and how did you navigate them?
The biggest barrier which I faced was in terms of language,
Mm-hmm.
because most of the postings for jobs in France were in French.
Okay.
So naturally, me not being a native French speaker, that was a big hindrance.
Mm-hmm.
Also, one change which I noticed is the requirement of a motivation letter or a cover letter.
Mm-hmm.
So in France, more than your CV, what motivates you to join the company is considered higher. Along with that, some changes in culture or expectation. For example, French recruiters value conciseness and motivation. And I also navigated via networking with alumni from ESCP as well as MDI.
Mm-hmm.
And specifically, while preparing for interviews, I made it a point to research the company's culture and aligning my story with their values.
Mm-hmm.
And if I have to give you an overall gist, what helped me most was persistence
Mm-hmm.
because I applied across multiple markets, multiple roles,
Okay.
took feedback, and improved after multiple interviews.
And given the fact that you already have 4 years of experience, did you at any time feel that uh, this may be a disadvantage to you? That because interns are considerably a lot younger and like still at the start of their careers. So, did you find that you are at a disadvantage, or was this an advantage that turned into your role at Hilti as well?
So, since I have a very heavy work experience and
Mhm.
which was also very focused on technology, I was still able to use most of what I had learned in my previous organization in my internship at Hilti.
Okay.
The major changes which I thought, or some things which were different in Hilti as compared to JP Morgan, was that it was more cross-functional. It was a complete team completely based in Europe, as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to JP Morgan, where I was collaborating with teams across the world,
Okay.
and also a better work-life balance being in Europe, being in France.
Mm-hmm.
And there was also a sense of me being more proactive and self-driven instead of waiting for a top-down direction.
Okay. And coming to the overall preparation for, let's say, preparing for an interview as well, as you mentioned that you applied for various roles as well. Let's say you uh, got a shortlist for a role that is a bit into marketing. What was your strategy like as far as preparation goes for preparing for such roles in a short duration of time? How do you make sure that your preparation is exhaustive and you do well in your interview?
So the first and foremost, I feel, is for you to really understand what the job description demands from you
Mm-hmm.
and prepare the basics of what you think you will need to succeed in that role.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're not from that domain, having basic knowledge of the work that you're going to do shows an attitude towards learning, which makes the recruiters or the hiring managers feel
Okay.
that you have an intent towards that role.
Mm-hmm.
And the second part would again be company specific preparation.
Mm-hmm.
So, whatever role you're applying to, whatever company you're interviewing for, research a bit about what they're doing, what their latest products are, how they're
Okay.
innovating, or some latest news which they have, some new features, or maybe some initiatives that they have started for their employees, which can be talking points in an interview.
Okay. And these interviews, were they offline, online, and how many rounds was like a typical interview last?
So, a typical process would last around 2 to 3 rounds on average.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them were online, but there were some which required an offline presence as well.
Okay, all right. I think we can move on to the fun part of this podcast. So, given that you've traveled more than 15 countries during a very short stint of 10 months, was there a trip that taught you something valuable, like about people, planning, or even yourself, that people wouldn't get out of a traditional classroom, a group setting, or even an office? Was there any learning that you got out of this entire experience?
So, the biggest learning for me would be in one of my trips to Spain.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was a week-long trip, and there were multiple iterations of planning which happened right from January, where I was planning a trip with my school friends,
Mm-hmm.
which didn't pan out. And then there were multiple people who planned it, and in the end, I just ended up going solo. So, that was one trip where I decided to wing it, just
Mm-hmm.
go with the flow and see what happens
Okay.
when you approach. So yeah, that taught me that experiences matter more than checklists, I would
Okay.
say,
Yeah.
because in the same trip we decide we I went to Tomatina.
Mm-hmm.
I also experienced Zaragoza, which is one of the lesser known states or cities in
Okay.
Spain,
Mm-hmm.
and I was also able to explore the city of Barcelona,
Uh,
which for me was quite exciting.
so, the video of Indians that got viral at the Tomatina, were you present in that video, or you were out of
I
that?
was nearby. I was
You were near.
nearby. I was not in the video, but I was nearby.
You were nearby. That's nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And given that you've experienced the entire European culture, a French internship, European academics, Indian corporate, uh, how do you see these different pieces basically shaping you for whatever journey that lies ahead of you? Basically, whether it is a professional goal, whether it is a personal goal, how do you see these pieces fitting together?
Okay, so the way I see it, my experience till now has been a blend of European collaboration and a rigorous Indian work environment,
Mm-hmm.
and also the global mindset that came along with it, right? So, what this experience has taught me is to believe strongly in data-driven citizen decision making
Mm-hmm.
at with humans and my team at the center of it. Along with it, I would have also learned a lot about multicultural adaptability
Mm-hmm.
because I was working with different teams, different people from Europe, from
Mm-hmm.
different countries of Europe, and the ability to lead diverse and cross-regional teams. I think
Mm-hmm.
that is what makes the highest impact in my role going forward.
Okay. And Coming to the last question, I think a lot of the viewers and a lot of future students who may enroll for uh, an academic life outside of India, uh, what's one piece of advice that is experience backed and like completely honest that you would give them before they start their entire journey?
So the biggest advice that I would give them is to not underestimate the cultural learning curve.
Mhm.
So one thing which I have noticed is that your soft skills matter as much as your technical skills.
Mhm.
I would also advise them to be proactive and patient
Mhm.
because generally hiring in Europe takes a lot of time. It's a long cycle. So polite follow-ups and gentle discussions, I think, are the way to go.
Okay.
And as for their overall European journey, I would like to advise them to not treat it as a degree or a job
Mhm.
because I think it comes packaged as an experience because anything and everything you do will be different from what you did in India.
Okay. All right. Well, that's it from my end, Mir. I think we have had a great conversation. Thanks a lot again for agreeing to the first episode of this particular series. I hope the viewers watching this particular video find it insightful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.